I think players spend their careers trying to look after every part of the bodies, but probably neglect the brain.
Well, Kevin Sinfield, it's high. He got clattered by Michael Monaghan, and Sinfield has stayed down. And no action from the touch judge or the referee.
Oh, that's a head flash.
So it starts off with education, which I think is really important. That's with current and former players, just to make them aware of the importance of brain health, the risks that they can be subject to through rugby league and the potential challenges in later life, but also what they can do to support their brain health throughout their careers and after their careers. Beyond that, it's also a big fundraising push to make sure that we've got enough support there financially to give people what they need and to do what we need across the sport. And then providing afterwards. So if people do find that they've got challenges after they've finished playing, they can come to Rugby League Cares and we can have a system in place that can provide for them, their family and those around them to make sure they've got what they need for either investigation, diagnosis or long-term support.
I had no understanding of what a brain injury was when I started playing. There was no information about it. Nobody really talked about subconcussion or what concussion could cause in the future. We just played the game, and I played the game as it was then, which was quite brutal, very gladiatorial in the sense of like one-on-one combat wasn't unusual as a fight would break out. So the game was very tough, but not as tough as it is these days in the sense of impacts and collisions. It was a tough game. Brain injury and thinking about early onset dementia, CTE, anything that in the future could affect me because of those concussions or those head knocks, it wasn't relevant. I don't think it was irrelevant to the time. Nobody really spoke about it, and there was an air of toughness about being able to get up off the floor.
When I played, it was a badge of honour to stay and when you was concussed, and that's hard for me to say, but it was true. You just didn't give in to concussion, and and now the education, what we have and what we're aware of, and the desire we have to look after our players is immense, and I would definitely do things different.
The Rugby League Cares Brain Health Fund has been established to allow the sport to deliver a programme of support that educates, protects and assists players and their families with issues concerning neurodegenerative illness.
I think looking at the safety of the sport's an interesting, almost philosophical question. I think you've got being able to identify injuries, whether those are physical or brain injuries, and then also you've got the activities that cause those. I think the game's tougher than it's been in terms of how the athletes are prepared, but I also think in terms of how players are supported is the best it's been. So ultimately, when we look at the rates of concussion, they are high, but ultimately that's because we've been able to identify concussions.
We can help past players and current players to understand there's always a way to help yourself.
We're going into clubs and we're delivering brain health education to current players. So it's just to make sure people are having that information updated throughout their careers, so that constant evolution that we're seeing on the medical and science side is being delivered in real time to those people playing.
I think as rugby league players, we want to just continue on. I'm running fine, I'm passing fine, I'm kicking fine. Everything feels normal. But I think the scary thing with concussion is the long-term effects down the track, whether it's going to affect me or not. So that was always in the back of my mind, and knowing what to do was the big questions, the big answers that I had to sort of come up with.
All of that education and dialogue I spoke about is about providing that best evidence so that those who take part can make an informed choice.
Having all the information for myself to make the decision, and everyone has been very supportive at KR, all the medical staff there, and then the concussion specialists as well. I wanted to go get all the information together before I made the decision, and I'd been advised to sort of stop playing, but then at the end of the day, it's my decision.
Understanding brain health, understanding what sleep does, understanding what your diet does, how can you actually improve and keep the memories that you've gained?
Once we've got that awareness and the education around concussion, then I think players are taking more responsibility to go, okay, I definitely need the rest here, or I was concussed there. I'm a bit dazed, I need to go off and get assessed.
It's really well communicated, the care and support that's in place. Now, that'll continue to evolve as we get more information and the research continues. I know there are a variety of different programs that are taking place where rugby league players are involved in, especially around brain health, and I'm in full support of that. So the game will continue to improve and get better in the care it provides. So for young people who are thinking about getting involved, for parents, I think that's for them to make their own mind on whether the balance works for them. But what I would say is the game is safer than it's ever been to play. And as long as we keep moving forward with that, trying to find ways of making it safer, then I think a world without contact sport, a world without rugby is a place that misses out on so many wonderful things. And team sport gives you values and morals that you struggle to find in many other workplaces. And you know, even if you play rugby as a hobby or for sport or recreation, it still gives you those friendship and values and morals that are so important for us in life.
I care.
You care.
Rugby League cares.